Hey everyone, welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. All the details are in today's video, so make sure you're subscribed and share this episode with your friends who never miss a moment in the world of Turkish celebrities. Now let's get into it, because last night Istanbul witnessed a performance that will be whispered about for a long time, and the way it ended left the entire city buzzing. Barış, the beloved actor who has gradually stepped into music with a careful, quietly confident elegance, took the stage in Istanbul and owned it from the very first note. The venue was full, a sea of lights and expectant faces, and the setlist was put together with precision up-tempo openings to pull everyone in, classics to trigger nostalgia, and a slow burn sequence that carried emotion like a tide. He laughed, he teased, he reached out to the crowd between songs, and his energy didn't dip for a second. But what nobody anticipated was the final act, a moment so intimate it felt like the room shrank around him. After a soaring ballad, he paused. He held the microphone close, stared for a heartbeat into the shadowed seats, and took a long breath. The room understood something was coming, you could feel it, the quiet, the stillness, the hush. And then Barış spoke, for the first time breaking the unspoken wall that had separated rumor from reality. His voice didn't tremble, but there was warmth in it, a kind of vulnerability that musicians rarely show at full volume. "Everything I've sung tonight," he said, "has a destination. I know you can feel it. I sing because one person makes all of this mean something. Yes, tonight I sing for Elçin." The reaction was immediate, like a spark in dry grass. The applause rolled from the front rows to the back and bounced off the walls. Shouts, cheers, a broken chorus of voices chanting, clapping, screaming his name and hers. The cameras were already up, every hand a lens, and within minutes the clips were racing across timelines like wildfire. Across social media, the comments poured in so fast that even the biggest fan accounts could barely keep up. "It's official," cried one. "We've been waiting for this," wrote another. "The most romantic moment of his career," said a third. The declaration was short, but it felt like a door opening, a tender secret lifted into the lights. And it wasn't just the words that stamped the night into memory. Through the remaining songs, because yes, he kept singing, his smile had that unguarded quality people show when they are not performing anymore but simply living the feeling. Between verses, he seemed to drift for a second, as if reliving something only he knew, then he would return to the audience with a look that said everything words could not. Near the end, as the final set turned soft and romantic, he leaned into the mic one last time. "Sometimes your entire story," he murmured, "is written by one person's gaze. That's my truth." And he said goodnight with a bow that felt like both a promise and a confession. Backstage, the chatter had its own life. You could hear it in the corridors, the dressing rooms, the technical crew's quick exchanges. "This was a declaration," someone said, starry-eyed, as if they just watched a movie. Others speculated that we might see the two of them together publicly sooner rather than later. If there were doubts before, they were stripped away by the easy certainty in Barış's tone. It wasn't a tease, not a coy hint, not a game for headlines. It was simple, transparent, and impossible to misread. As the clips circulated, the story didn't just trend, it dominated. Fans pulled together edits of the night within hours. There were slow-motion cuts of his smile after the confession, supercuts of the crowd erupting, threads examining the setlist to decode meaning, because of course, fans measure love in lyrics. Comments ranged from pure joy to stunned disbelief, "So it's true, finally. He said her name." All eyes now on Elçin. And that last note hung over the morning like a mist. Because while Barış had spoken, Elçin's Sangu, luminous and measured, chose silence for the moment. Insiders claimed she had not been warned he would say it out loud. That rumor made its way through salons and WhatsApp chats alike. Did she know? Was it planned? Or was this truly spontaneous, an artist caught up in the feeling of his own music, unable to keep the door closed any longer? People who know them described respect, gentleness, and a shared professionalism as part of their connection. That nuance made the confession feel even more powerful. It wasn't theater. It was a line crossed only when it meant something. The press and the entertainment world woke up to the same question fans asked: what happens now? The headlines wrestled for room. Talk shows tilted segments to the moment. The performance itself, polished, expansive, the work of a man serious about the craft of music, was overshadowed by one sentence that carried more weight than a dozen encores. The industry doesn't often get tenderness served without scandal, without chaos. Last night it did, and people didn't quite know where to put that feeling except everywhere at once. But that wasn't the only part of the evening that kept pulses high. Mid-show, just before the reveal, there had been a small but telling pause, one of those heartbeats in which the audience is half-breathing with the performer. After finishing a song that rang like confession even before words explained it, Barış turned his body toward the crowd and let the lighting fall to a gentle amber. He looked into the dark and let the silence gather. And then he said, carefully, "Every note is a letter tonight, and each letter knows where it's meant to go. I'm singing while looking at her." For Elçin. The difference between rumor and truth is only a name. Last night he gave the story a name. From that moment, the concert became a living diary. Even the musicians on stage moved differently, subtly, but with a new awareness. The audience felt it and responded. There were tears, laughter, couples holding hands, friends leaning into each other, and 1,000 phones catching the glow. The look on his face wove its own narrative, sometimes distant, as if replaying a private memory, sometimes sunlit, as if the memory answered back. Backstage murmurs picked up the tone. "He's in love," someone said, not as a question but as a recognition. By the time the night ended, the hashtag storm had settled into its own rhythm. Edits of the confession looped across platforms, the view counts climbed into the millions before morning coffee was poured. The most shared captions read like a chorus, "This is a clear declaration, no more secrets, your move, Elçin." And yet, despite the volume of the reaction, there was something remarkably delicate about the whole affair. No melodrama, no messy edges. Just a man doing the bravest thing an artist can do on stage, telling the truth and trusting the audience to hold it. Those close to Elçin say she prefers to think before speaking, to let the emotional weather settle. Her elegance has always been matched by restraint. She knows the value of silence and how it can turn into meaning. The suggestion that she hadn't been expecting that exact sentence added a certain electricity to the night's aftermath. Was he taking a risk? Absolutely. But the risk felt anchored in respect. He didn't speak for her. He spoke about himself, about what fuels him, about the person who inhabits his art even when the curtain is closed. And of course, there is the other thread, the one woven through their shared history in the public eye, the chemistry that made fans root for them even when they never said much. That thread glowed brighter last night. Some observers swore that just before the final bow, Barış tilted his head as if acknowledging someone not in the room, as if sending a steady, private message beneath the roar. Whether real or a romantic projection, the detail traveled through the grapevine with a speed only modern gossip can command. The industry's reaction was a mixture of surprise and admiration. It's not easy for a performer who cut his teeth as an actor to be taken seriously on a stage crowded with seasoned musicians. But Barış didn't chase validation. He built it, song by song, the way a craftsman earns trust, not loudly, not quickly, but undeniably. That made the confession feel earned rather than opportunistic. It turned the show into a landmark, a moment that will be referenced every time his name appears on a billboard for years to come. As for the future, the rumor mill spun into overdrive before dawn. Whispers suggested that the pair might share a moment in public soon, perhaps not a grand gesture, perhaps just a quiet appearance that says what statements can't. No confirmations yet, of course. Maybe none will come. But last night already felt sufficient, a chapter complete without the need for commentary. Still, curiosity is oxygen for fandoms, and today there is more oxygen than anyone knows what to do with. One more detail from the night has to be mentioned, because it rewrites a familiar story. Toward the middle of the set, after the confession but before the encore, he spoke again, not to prolong the spectacle, but to draw a soft curtain around it. "You go on stage and think the songs can hide you," he said, voice low. "But you learn they reveal you instead. Every line I sang tonight had a listener in mind. And that listener is Elçin." The way the crowd answered, wild, joyful, disbelieving and somehow completely believing, nearly lifted the roof. It wasn't the volume that stunned people, it was the unity. For a few minutes, thousands moved like one heartbeat. By sunrise, the story had slipped from music pages to mainstream culture, from entertainment chatter to breakfast table talk. Everyone wanted to be the first to hear what Elçin might say, or if she would say anything at all. Meanwhile, the full-length videos kept climbing, the thumbnails dominated by his face and that exact half-smile, mid-confession. There were think pieces about romance in the spotlight, about how rare it is for a public figure to deliver tenderness without cynicism. And there were countless comments that distilled it better than any analysis could. He finally said it. You cannot hide a feeling this big. History was made in that room. And that's how the night will be remembered, not only for the richness of the music, not only for the craftsmanship of a performer crossing disciplines with grace, but for the courage to let love be heard. Whether or not a formal statement ever arrives, whether or not the next time we see them is a shared frame or simply a shared silence, the story has already found its shape. A city listened, a name was spoken, and a door opened. You've reached the end of our coverage of this unforgettable night. If you enjoyed the story and want more exclusive updates on your favorite stars, don't forget to subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars and share this video. Until next time, we'll keep listening for the whispers and we'll bring them straight to you.